Hey, goddess bosses, how are you tonight? Did you know that it's Financial Literacy Month? Well, a goddess, a boss, has to really take care of her money. And therefore, it's very important to take advantage of all the amazing resources that are available to us right now to learn how to boss up to our finances, to build financial security and wealth, and create the current lifestyle and futures to live our dreams based on our financial abundance that we're all seeking. So I am on a constant quest to achieve this. We all have a life story around money that is either good or bad or something we need to learn from, shift, transform. And so tonight on Boss Up Goddess, I, Elizabeth Ann Atkins, am going to share three amazing books that are helping me boss up to my own finances and continue to learn and prosper. So, speaking of prosper, I'm in a program. It's a business advisory group called I Prosper, and it's with Lisa Peterson, and she is the author of The Mindful Millionaire. So Lisa created this community that I'm part of called The Mindful Millionaire, and her other program is called I Prosper. And it's business-minded entrepreneurs around the world who come together under Lisa's guidance to learn how to be a better business person through financial literacy, through um, spiritual principles. That is Lisa's unique gift of taking her really strong financial background as a former bank vice president and merging her more than 2 decades of spiritual learning and teaching into this wonderful platform that merges the financial and the spiritual. And I find it so extraordinary because I'm a deeply spiritual person and all of that really resonates and it's all connected: mind, body, spirit. So the Mindful Millionaire explains those principles and she teaches those to us in I Prosper. And so I'm learning all these wonderful techniques that begin with the mind. It all starts in your mind. Therefore, I am advocating that you, right now in Financial Literacy Month, April 2021, start to boss up to your finances and navigating your way to financial freedom by shifting your mindset. And that starts with understanding your money story. Lisa taught how to figure out what is your money story, and it started in childhood. If we were told, no, you can't afford that, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or money is the root of all evil, all those kinds of statements create sort of a lack mentality with a negative um, energy around money. And then many people absorb that, and that becomes their mindset for life. And sadly, it leads to a lack mentality and struggles financially because many people are never taught the tools that again start in the mind on how to create abundance and keep it and build generational wealth. So the first book that I am recommending right now for Financial Literacy Month for you to boss up to your finances is The Mindful Millionaire by Lisa Peterson. It's an awesome book, and it will provide some insights that you've never considered because her teachings are so unique. So there's that book. The next book is called Give, Save, Spend: How to Build Wealth and Change the World by Kathy Callie. Now, this book is extraordinary in that money coach Kathy Callie, she is a tried and true person who practices what she preaches. And she shares her success stories of being a single mom and going through tremendous struggles. In fact, I interviewed her and Lisa Peterson on Boss Up Goddess, so you can watch those shows. I can put the links in the description box here. But Kathy shares her story of going through some tremendous struggles, having multiple jobs to support her children, and really bossing up to her own finances out of desperation because of the situation she was in. And fortunately, that educated her to create this blueprint for all of us to use. And let me just share that Kathy is an amazing person, just like Lisa, in that they are so compassionate in their altruistic missions to teach. They do it from the heart and soul. And many of us have these, again, opinions about money that it's cold, it's unfeeling. No, they bring to the effort such tremendous warmth and nurturing and like a safe space to explore these issues that can be shameful and scary and a whole list of other negative emotions that are attached to money, unfortunately. So they're here to help us lift up into an area of confidence and joy around money. And so let me just share that Kathy's first word, give. Now, that might seem counterintuitive. Give, save, spend on your path to financial wellness and abundance. But I just want to testify. I have a couple stories about giving and how that enriches you, literally. Um, Again, deeply spiritual, very altruistic from the heart and soul. And so my stories totally vibe with that. A few years ago, I was told by Spirit, I call it the divine voice within, to give $100 to a young mother that I knew needed it. She hadn't asked me for anything. And I knew I was going to see her later that day. And at the time, I really didn't have extra $100 bills sitting around to just give away. However, Spirit said, give her $100 today. So I did in an envelope with a spirit of joy when I gave it to her. And she was, of course, extremely grateful. Later that day, I met with a client for one of my book projects. He gave me a $500 tip. Give. So, giving, first of all, I have chills. Oh my gosh. It gives you a giver's high, a helper's high. And there's a saying, giver's gain, because when you put out that kind of generosity and energy, and it's aligned with your spiritual messaging, your gut instincts, your divine voice within, and your mission to contribute to the world in a positive way, you are richly rewarded, literally. Another time, I was in a hotel and I was leaving the hotel. My trip was over, and I left a generous tip for the person who was going to come in and clean the room afterwards. And I always like to leave a thank you note. And if I know that the person, I like to write thank you on there. And I put the money on the note that says thank you and with a big smiley face. And I feel really happy when I do that. I just feel so happy. So my joy is like poured out at the thought of the person coming in and taking the money and feeling good about rewarded for her hard work. And so this one particular day, I left this generous tip. And later that day, something that I had been so worried about financially came through in a surprising way that was over and above the abundance that I was praying for. It's not a coincidence that those two things happened on the same day. So I have lots of other stories like that, but my message is that when you give, Givers truly do gain, starting with the high of the helper's high, the wonderful feeling of giving. And so I love this book as the second that I recommend. Give, Save, Spend, How to Build Wealth and Change the World by Kathy Kelly. That's book number 2 for you to read to boss up to your finances right now during Financial Literacy Month in April 2021. The next book I want you to read is Take the Helm, Navigating Your Way to Financial Freedom by Roland Gazal. Now, he is an amazing financial literacy advocate. He's a leader in the financial services industry as a Fortune 100 company managing partner, and he's a philanthropist, specifically helping people around the world get access to clean water through the installation of wells in cities and towns and villages where people are getting sick and dying from water that's infected with diseases because it's from an area where animals are, and it's all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Take the Helm. This book, as you can see, is not very thick. However, it's really fun to read, and he breaks down complicated financial concepts that make some people glaze over or get intimidated, confused, and just want to run away. He takes all the concepts and simplifies them and presents them in a really fun way. So he says, using this metaphor of shipping, boating, take the helm, um, design your personal paradise island. Now, my life dream is to someday own an island. So when I read that, I was like, whoa, he's singing my tune for sure. In fact, in my vision board, I have a picture of my island right there. I've selected it, I've named it. It has an airstrip. It's got everything I want. So the island idea. So what he means is it's a metaphor. Paradise Island is the life of your dreams. It's the life where you live the lifestyle that you want, whether it's luxurious or frugal or whatever. You have financial security and you have financial freedom. Now, financial freedom means lots of things to lots of people, but what it means is you call your own shots. You have the freedom to live however you desire, whether it's in a tiny house, whether it's in a van, whether it's in a mansion, whether it's in multiple homes around the world, whatever scale of mm, luxury or not you want to live, that's up to you. But you have the freedom to retire from the so-called day job or trading your time and energy for money in traditional work styles, and you can do whatever you want. So financial freedom is something that most of us aspire to have, in that we live in abundance, we live in overflow, but we have long-term security and we have generational wealth that we can pass along to our children, grandchildren into perpetuity. That's the dream. Unfortunately, that's not the reality for most people. And therefore, Roland, who started off as a boy from Syria, who came to the United States and saw the American dream, achieved it, and now is taking everything he learned, including the moment when he was 23 years old with $500 to his name, and writing out a net worth statement and expanding from there to grow into having his definition of a paradise island for himself and his family. So he's sharing all the secrets, and the way he shares them is he teaches you how to navigate the 7 C's of life. And so those include family, career, other people, relationships, career development, all kinds of things. And he totally keeps it real, even though there's these super fun concepts of the helm, the boat, the seas, the island. It's fun, but he keeps it real because he talks about the fear. He talks about people being vultures. When you start to accumulate wealth, people feel entitled to a piece of your pie that you worked so hard to bake. And so this is a really powerful book that, again, helps you with that mental shift to boost your confidence that, yes, you can achieve financial freedom. And so when you read this book, first of all, it's fun and you learn. It has exercises in here for you to actually take pen to paper right now and take action. And he talks about the importance of writing as a tool for your financial empowerment. And so, with this book, Take the Helm: Navigating Your Way to Financial Freedom by Roland Gazal, Give, Save, Spend: How to Build Wealth and Change the World by Kathy Callie, and The Mindful Millionaire by Lisa Peterson. These three books are going to help you boss up and be the abundant goddess that you've always dreamed of being. It's very important. And guess what? The coronavirus pandemic has served as a wake-up call. So a lot of people lost their jobs, and sadly, women, especially in the service industry, have been especially hard hit. A few months ago, there was a story that said 100% of the women, of the workers in a certain sector were women. It was like, what does that even mean? Fortunately, the economy seems to be rebounding and women are getting jobs, but also the whole aspect of homeschooling, balancing home, working from home, spouses, all the anxiety of the pandemic, all of those compounded to make women's already overburdened lives even more so. And if there was job loss in the mix, then there's financial panic. And so the coronavirus pandemic, in that regard, has taught us the importance of having an emergency fund, saving, preparing, having insurance, having long-term care, having all the financial foundational pieces in place so that if catastrophe does strike, the death of a loved one, pandemic, job loss, all kinds of other things, then you and your family still have that financial security to have a home, to have food, to have all your needs met. And so now is the time. And you know what? A lot of times we don't embark on the learning of these concepts because it seems overwhelming, especially if you're in a day-to-day struggle and there's only so many minutes and so much energy and so many dollars to go around in a day. I understand, but incrementally, you can make a difference in your financial reality by first shifting your mind and saying, I am going to do this. And let me tell you the power of the pen. Just start writing things down. I've shared in other videos and on other shows that Catherine and I have a weekly meeting, a weekly commitment where we go over our finances personally and professionally as two sisters writing and publishing and as individuals. And so it's really, really important that you look at your numbers. You can't clean your house until you know where the dirt is. You can't heal a wound until you looked into it and seen, what's going on there. Does it need stitches? Does it need to be cleaned? Does it just need a little alcohol swab? So you have to look at those numbers in order to grow them. And even if your net worth is a negative number, which can be very discouraging, or if you have debt, it won't go away or it won't build into the abundance zone until you tend to it. It's like a plant. It has to be watered. It needs sunlight. It needs attention. It needs to be nourished. And so taking action by writing down what's coming in, what's going out, what do I own, what do I owe, and start very small. And then write your own personal mission statement. You can do it over the course of a week, a month, 90 days, or annually, or you can set goals. This month, I'm going to save $50 or $500 or $5,000. By the end of this year, I want to have achieved XYZ in saving in my emergency fund. I want to give 10% of all my income to X cause. Um, Whatever you decide, just take some small action today. It's Financial Literacy Month. We have at our fingertips on the internet access to so much information. Of course, these books that I just shared in ebook and audiobook, but also coaches, courses, YouTube videos that are free, um, all kinds of things, blog posts, financial podcasts. There's so much information right now. Please take some action right now to learn something new about how you can empower yourself financially and really have a sense of confidence, empowerment, and success that you truly are navigating your way to financial freedom. When you start on this, even just if it's to watch one video or read one blog post or listen to one podcast or listen to an audiobook or read a book, you're going to start to feel, yes, I can do this no matter where you are starting. And that's going to be your testimony. As a writer, I strongly encourage you to write where you are, write down where you are, describe it, take a journal and let that be your financial freedom journal. And then write, what's your status today financially in your mindset. Even if you're sitting there crying as you write it, just write it down and ask, where do I need help? If you've been trying the same things for years and years and you're still struggling in the same spot, you need a coach. And again, there are so many awesome coaches out there who can help you. Someone you trust. I would definitely get a referral to somebody who your friend or colleague trusts and has a proven track record with results, and then work with that person. And let me tell you, the investment you make in that coaching experience will pay immeasurably in, first of all, you feeling better that you're taking action to resolve this problem. And secondly, you'll learn. You'll learn how to change your financial circumstances so that you can stop having that angst, stop waking up in the middle of the night worried about money, stop trying to um, play what I know somebody calls it voodoo economics, where they're like barely making it and just shifting money around so that they can cover all their bills. Not living like that anymore and not having that angst, that anxiety around money, and instead feeling confident and prosperous and good so you can treat yourself. And guess what? The more you treat yourself, the more you prosper, the more you have to give, as whether it's everyday giving or as a philanthropist doing some major mission that helps people around the world. How awesome is that? It's possible. It is possible. There's so many examples you can look to. So it's Financial Literacy Month. I just shared 3 books that are very empowering for you to use as starting points or perhaps to supplement your financial literacy curriculum that you might already be following. And again, I highly recommend you work with a coach or join some type of community where you can get the tools you need as well as the mindset shift guidance that you need to transform your thinking around money, to leave that old story in the past, along with the old habits that only cause problems, and move forward into the future toward your paradise island where you can feel really happy, joyous, abundant, sharing that with those you love and being a positive, powerful influence on the world. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. I'm so grateful you joined me tonight for Boss Up Goddess. My mission is to help you live bigger, better, and bolder by sharing my wisdom that I've learned over many years, as well as when I interview my phenomenal guests who you can check out here on the channel. So please follow me on Twitter at Elizabeth Atkins. Please also like, share, subscribe to the channel, and comment on any topic relating to the show. Meanwhile, remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.